Hey everybody, it's Jackie Bolen from ESLspeaking.org. So today I'm going to talk about my top 5 ESL grammar activities. Alright, so number 1 is that sentence correct? So this is a simple activity you can use in class or for homework or even on an exam of some kind. So write down a bunch of sentences on the PowerPoint or the board or a worksheet and put students into pairs. They have to decide if the sentence is correct, and then if it's incorrect, they have to make the required changes. All right, the next grammar activity on this list is flashcard sentences. So when I teach kids, I never step foot into the classroom without a set of flashcards. They're super useful for a ton of different games and activities, including helping students make grammatically correct sentences. So I have a ton of ideas for different flashcard things you can do. Have a look down in the description, and there's a link to my blog for ESL grammar activities, and you can find out all my ideas for using flashcards in your classroom right there. Next one is board games. So board games are super easy to make, and you can tailor them to just about any grammatical concept or vocabulary set as well. So some ones in particular that work super well for board games are advice using should or shouldn't, reported speech, the simple past, and talking about future possibilities. You can totally make your own. I usually will use like questions, and then I have students answer those questions when they land on that square. To find out more about how to make your own, definitely click in that link below and go to my blog, and you'll get all the information you need. And you'll see how simple it actually is to do it yourself. All right, another one is surveys. So I love to use surveys. I'm sure my students would probably tell you the same thing. I use them at least once a month in my classes. They cover all 4 skills. They get students out of their seats, walking around, talking to everybody. And you can use them for a ton of different things. One of my favorite is the PP and the simple past. So students would make a question in the PP, or I have preset ones written down on the paper. For example, have you ever been to another country? They would have to find a student who said, yes, I have. And then once they find that person, they have to ask a follow-up question in the simple past. For example, where did you go? Or who did you go with? And then they find out the answer, and then they write that down on their paper. So yeah, it's super simple to make your own, and students really enjoy this activity as well. All right, another one. The final one is dictation practice. So I know it's a little bit old school and kind of not really like one of the new communicative activities that most ESL teachers would use. However, it does have some value in the classroom. So basically just dictate some sentences to the students, and they have to write it down. It's a super simple way also to practice things like spelling and punctuation. If you want to like level it up a little bit and make it more difficult, dictate some questions and then students have to write answers. Or dictate some statements and then students have to make the questions. Or you could just dictate some statements and then students have to put them in the correct order to make a conversation. So that way you can take it just from a simple grammar kind of listening thing into something that also focuses on meaning. All right, so that's it for my ESL grammar activities. I have a ton more on my website, so be sure to check that out. And yeah, if you like this video, please hit like, subscribe, leave a comment below, and I'd love to hear from you. All right, until next time, thanks everyone.